Jungkook caught deleting photos with Taehyung from Weverse Gallery. Fans start to wonder, is there something Jungkook doesn't want us to see? Why would someone so meticulous, so connected to the emotional timeline of his fans, suddenly delete several Weverse posts that had sentimental value to millions? And why now? Why only the ones with Taehyung? The question fans can't stop asking is simple: what happened between Jungkook and Taehyung? For years, the two have stood as pillars of friendship, loyalty, and quiet emotional depth in BTS's dynamic. But something seems different now, something unsettling. Fans are noticing not only a shift in tone, but a shift in memory. Digital memories. Ones that were once public, now erased, and no official announcement has been made by either party, and HYB has, predictably, remained silent. But silence in the world of BTS often speaks louder than words. The deleted photos weren't just ordinary snapshots. They were cherished artifacts of a bond that once felt unbreakable. Late-night selfies during tour rehearsals, playful behind-the-scenes videos, even soft birthday wishes that had previously brought tears to fans' eyes. They're gone. All that remains are screenshots scattered across fan accounts and a growing unease about the state of Taehyung's friendship. Why would Jungkook erase moments that brought joy to millions? Was it an accident, a glitch, or was it deliberate? Some fans speculate that the deletions are a quiet statement, a symbolic severing of something sacred. Others believe it might be strategic distancing, a slow preparation for what could be an even larger announcement in the near future. A solo move? A creative disagreement? A personal betrayal? Strangely, Taehyung hasn't reacted at all, not even subtly. No vague posts.
No lyrics.
No changed profile photos. Nothing. That silence is not like him. It's not like either of them, which makes the disappearance of those posts even more chilling. Could it be that whatever is happening between them is too raw to share? Too personal to explain? Or are we witnessing the quiet fallout of a friendship that no longer exists? The deletions didn't happen all at once. Fans who track every move noticed it began subtly, one post gone, then another the following week. At first, no one panicked. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe he was organizing. But when it became clear that the disappearing content was only from posts involving Taehyung, the narrative shifted from coincidence to concern. The emotional weight of this is not lost on fans, especially those who have followed their journey from pre-debut days. Their bond had been a comfort, a soft place in the midst of global fame and relentless schedules. Jungkook and Taehyung were never overly showy in their closeness, but they didn't need to be. It was the quiet kind of friendship, the kind built over late-night conversations, shared dreams, and the ability to understand each other without words. So what could fracture something like that? Was it creative direction? A personal disagreement during military service? A breach of trust? Or perhaps a larger pressure, one imposed from the top, to separate their identities for the sake of marketability? One thing is certain: fans feel the tension, even if no one is talking about it. And while many are holding on to hope that this is simply a misunderstanding, others are preparing themselves for something they never thought they'd have to consider. The end of Taehyung as we knew it. What's most painful is not the deletion of content, it's the deletion of feeling. The quiet erasure of shared laughter, of visible affection, of the kind of bond that fans believed would last through anything. Jungkook hasn't spoken, Taehyung hasn't flinched, and the silence grows heavier by the day. The question that continues to rattle through social media platforms like an unsilenced alarm: why now? It's no secret that Jungkook has undergone significant personal changes since enlisting in the military. Fans have observed a growing sense of introspection, even a hardened emotional front that seemed foreign to the golden magne they knew. But no one, not even the most analytical fan accounts, could have predicted this move. Not a scandal, not a dramatic outburst, but a quiet, almost surgical deletion of memories shared with someone who once felt like his emotional twin. Some theorists on fan forums suggest that perhaps the fracture happened long ago, behind the walls of their dorms or the stoic silence of their military barracks. Maybe the public is only just catching up to what has already been broken behind the curtain. But others refuse to believe such a deep bond could unravel without leaving some trace, some visible moment of confrontation, or even goodbye. And maybe that's what's most painful. There was no goodbye, only absence. And the absence is deafening. Fans have started compiling timelines, comparing Taehyung's recent solo work with Jungkook's military entries. Certain lines from Taehyung's earlier interviews now carry new weight. Phrases about growing apart, needing space, trusting the path of individuality. Could those have been subtle cries of emotional fatigue? Was he already beginning to mourn a friendship that was slipping away? But why would Jungkook be the one to erase the physical reminders? A deleted photo isn't just a disappearing pixel, it's a signal. A statement without words. One post, maybe you excuse it. 3, 5, all connected to Taehyung? It becomes undeniable. This wasn't digital housekeeping. This was deliberate. And fans, who've made it their mission to memorize every expression, every moment of eye contact between them, now find themselves wondering if they missed the clues. Were the silences in the background of certain live streams more than just fatigue? Were the forced smiles in past awards shows masking something more complex beneath the surface? Theories have gone wild. Some suggest Jungkook may have felt betrayed. Others believe the issue lies in the agency's subtle manipulation of personal relationships for the sake of image control. And a few fear something worse: irreparable emotional damage between two of BTS's most beloved souls. Adding fuel to the fire is the eerie contrast in how each of them has chosen to navigate their solo chapters. Taehyung, often cryptic but still connected to fans through art and vulnerability. Jungkook, increasingly stoic, removing himself from unnecessary exposure. And now this, a silent severance from shared history. Is it possible Jungkook no longer sees those memories as worth preserving? And what does that say about the future of BTS? Not as a group, but as a brotherhood. Because for many fans, BTS was never just about the music or performances. It was about the connections between the members. The unbreakable, almost sacred bond that served as proof that fame hadn't tainted the core of their unity. And now, with just a few taps on a phone screen, Jungkook has called that belief into question. Perhaps the most heartbreaking theory of all is the one no one wants to say out loud. What if this isn't temporary? What if this isn't a misunderstanding? What if, in the quietest, most irreversible way, we are watching the slow departure of one brother from another? Of course, there are still voices of hope in the fandom. Loyal believers who insist this is just a digital misunderstanding. That Jungkook is clearing space for a new era, one that still includes Taehyung, but in a way we can't yet understand. They reference past moments where the two have disappeared from each other's orbit only to return stronger. They cling to the hope that friendship, true friendship, doesn't vanish with the click of a delete button. But even the most hopeful fans are now asking, if this truly is a chapter closing, why doesn't anyone have the courage to say so? And still, HYB says nothing. This silence from the agency has created a vacuum that fans have been more than willing to fill with theories, tears, and timelines. The longer HYB refrains from clarifying, the more room there is for speculation to turn into accepted narrative. Even more curious is how other members of BTS are reacting or not reacting. Jimin, known for wearing his emotions openly, has avoided the topic altogether. RM, the quiet observer and leader, has offered no philosophical musings. Jin and J-Hope, still in service, remain unreachable. Suga, ever the cryptic figure, has made no public mention. Are they all aware of something we aren't? Or are they, too, unsure of how deep this rift goes? There's a stillness to the fan space now. Not the exciting kind. The aching kind. The kind where people refresh Weverse not in anticipation of joy, but out of fear of what might disappear next. Are we about to see more posts vanish? Will Taehyung respond? Will Jungkook ever explain? And if not, how are fans supposed to grieve a friendship that meant more to them than even they realized? As we move deeper into this new, uncertain era, where the image of 7 members walking side by side becomes increasingly nostalgic, fans are left holding onto fragments, screenshots, memories, echoes of what once was. For now, the photos are gone. The silence remains. And so does the question that none of us can answer. What really happened between Jungkook and Taehyung? As hours turn into days, the emotional weight of what has happened, or what is believed to have happened, between Jungkook and Taehyung begins to settle in the hearts of fans like an unshakable winter chill. People are not just reacting to the deletions. They are mourning, not for the loss of digital posts, but for the fear that the trust and closeness they always believed existed between these two iconic figures might have cracked, perhaps beyond repair. The images that once symbolized a friendship, so often romanticized by fans, weren't just photos. They were reminders of laughter shared in dressing rooms, inside jokes muttered behind microphones, the way Jungkook used to glance toward Taehyung during performances, not for synchronization, but for reassurance. And now, those glances feel like ghosts. Social media is flooded with side-by-side comparisons, then versus now. Smiling selfies from years past next to screenshots of Jungkook's now empty Weverse gallery. A comment from Taehyung years ago that read, "Don't leave me behind," juxtaposed against a timeline that suddenly feels all too literal. The poetic tragedy of it all is too sharp to ignore, but amid the emotional chaos, questions begin to take a darker turn. Was this the result of a private fight? A betrayal? Did something happen during military service that fans were never meant to see? Or is Jungkook quietly trying to tell fans that he's no longer willing to perform the closeness they once demanded from him and Taehyung? People forget that idols, no matter how luminous on stage, are not statues cast in the same mold forever. They evolve. They outgrow parts of themselves. They harden. And sometimes, they burn bridges not out of cruelty, but out of survival. Jungkook has, over the past year, shown signs of deeper emotional introspection. His tone has grown quieter. His interviews more careful. His facial expressions increasingly unreadable. To many fans, this transformation has been beautiful in its honesty. But now, with this sudden and targeted act of digital erasure, admiration turns into concern. Is Jungkook okay? That is no longer a rhetorical question. It is a desperate one, because you don't delete someone from your public archive unless you're trying to protect yourself. Or maybe, just maybe, you're trying to erase the version of yourself that once existed with them. Could it be that Jungkook is attempting to step out of the persona fans created for him? The golden magne who smiled at everyone. The soft-hearted friend. The one who never failed to hug Taehyung in the rain or sit beside him in every group interview. Could it be that he's exhausted? That pretending everything is still the same became too heavy, and on the other end, where is Taehyung in all of this? Surprisingly, he has posted nothing in response. No quotes. No cryptic captions. No photos filled with hidden meanings. The stillness from his corner feels unnatural, calculated, as if any reaction might validate the speculations swirling around him. But fans are experts at reading between the lines, and even silence is a message when it comes from someone who used to say so much. Some fans point to Taehyung's recent music releases, analyzing the lyrics like investigators searching for confessions. One particular line, "I used to see you in every sunrise," has now been dissected in thousands of tweets, with fans convinced it refers to Jungkook. Is this the way idols communicate when they're not allowed to speak freely? Through carefully chosen metaphors? Through deliberate absences? And yet, as the days go by, no statement comes from HYB. The company remains silent, possibly hoping the storm will pass as others have before. But this time, it feels different. The intimacy of the situation. The fact that this isn't about scandals or outside drama, but a potential emotional rupture between two brothers who grew up together. Two artists whose bond fans once believed was unshakable. There are rumors, unconfirmed but persistent, that internal tensions at HYB may be deeper than fans imagined. That members' growing desire for autonomy may not be sitting well with the agency's vision for post-military branding. That perhaps Jungkook deleting those photos isn't just about a personal relationship, but about reclaiming ownership of his identity in a system that has demanded unity above all else. Could it be that Taehyung still represents a version of Jungkook that the company wants him to cling to, and this deletion is his way of pushing back? Is this about friendship or freedom? One Weverse post, since deleted, from a fan read, "Maybe Jungkook isn't angry at Taehyung. Maybe he's angry at the expectations that come with being close to him." That post was up for only minutes, but screenshots keep it alive, and maybe that's the truest heartbreak of all, not knowing, not being able to ask, not being able to hear it from them. Fans can only guess. And in the void of official truth, emotions become louder than facts. There's a new ache in the way fans talk now. The hope is still there, but it's brittle, fragile, loaded with the kind of nervous optimism people use when they're afraid of facing the truth. Because maybe the Jungkook who used to run down hallways with Taehyung laughing about cartoons and fried chicken really is gone. Not in anger, not in betrayal, just gone. And what's left? A feed with a few missing posts. A quiet fandom. A weight in the chest of millions who didn't realize how deeply they cared until the proof of that friendship vanished. And still no word. Not from Jungkook. Not from Taehyung. Not from HYB. Will it come? Will there be a reconciliation post? A shared laugh on a live stream? Or will this be one of those silent heartbreaks that never gets closure? Because the truth is, this isn't just a fan theory anymore. It's a wound. And until someone speaks up, it's one that might never heal.